Hello, and welcome back to the Sales Reality Check. Today we're tackling something almost every business owner, founder, salesperson, all of us struggle with: prospecting. Sound familiar? And it's not because we don't know how to do it. It's because we avoid doing it. And, I'll do anything. I need to have a stack of papers this high, and I need to have the special pencil, and I need to have the cell phone charged, and I need to all the things, and I'll talk my way out of doing it. Okay, so Heather, here's my question. Why do smart, successful professionals avoid reaching out to the people that they genuinely believe they can help?
I think because prospecting isn't usually a skills problem, it's a mindset problem. All those things you just mentioned, right? Those are mindsets. Procrastination is a mindset. Another one we talk about is head trash. People don't wake up thinking, I can't have a conversation. They wake up and they think, or they pick up the phone, or they get in front of their desktop and they say, I don't want to bother anyone. Or I don't want to sound salesy. What if they reject me? That kind of head trash or procrastination, it stops prospecting more than a lack of sales knowledge ever will.
And it's interesting because these are often incredibly successful people. Some of this stuff is very deep-seated, but you still see CEOs, consultants, attorneys, financial advisors. They can lead huge teams, negotiate million-dollar deals, and speak on stage. But ask them to call a call, prospective client, and suddenly they're frozen. Why is that?
Right? That's interesting. I think some of the things you mentioned, leading teams, negotiating large deals, speaking on stage, those are skills that 99.9% of those people were trained in. So just like prospecting, we're trained in prospecting. But I think the other one is, they freeze when it comes to prospecting because a lot of that head trash tells them it's personal. If someone doesn't respond, they think, oh, they rejected me. But the prospects aren't rejecting you. They're making a decision in that moment based on timing, priority, whether they heard a reason to continue the conversation. And those reasons are much different those aren't personal.
Right. I think that's such an important distinction because most people aren't just afraid of prospecting, they're afraid of rejection. We've all had that experience where we've been excited to call somebody, we had a great hot lead, and we do the build up and we call, and the worst is getting hung up on. I love Sandler has such a wonderful reversal on that, because they suggest you call up a prospect and you say, this is a cold call, are you going to hang up on me? It's just to kind of make that differentiation, but that's all part of having a process.
Right, but I love that because you're still asking permission. You're being honest and you're saying, do you have 30 seconds? I usually say this, this is a cold call, do you have 30 seconds? And they either don't or do, but it truly isn't personal. A prospect's response is about their priorities, not your worth.
Right. That is so true. So let's talk about the word almost everyone hates. We talked about this last week. Sales. I can't tell you how many business owners tell me, oh, well, I love what I do. I love my job. I just hate the selling part of it. And the truth is, we don't have a job if we're not selling. That is the job.
Right, that's true for a lot of founders, for a lot of business owners. But I think they're confusing selling with convincing, right? They picture this old school style of sales, which really, it's antiquated, but it's still what we picture, right? Somebody talking nonstop, applying pressure, overcoming rejections, laughing over you, ha, 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 ha. That's not selling.
Polyester suits.
Polyester suits, right? And not listening to you. And real selling is none of that. It's helping someone determine whether there's a problem worth solving. So that's a conversation between two adults.
Right, exactly. The goal isn't to convince someone to buy your product. It's to determine whether there's even a good reason to continue a conversation. Because sometimes it isn't. I mean, that's a completely different mindset.
Right. And that's part of what we teach is qualifying, right? Prospecting isn't about getting someone to say yes. It's about discovering and qualifying whether there's a reason to keep talking.
Most people think prospecting is about pitching. Sandler teaches it's about curiosity.
Right. And going back to what you said in the beginning, it's a skill. It's a skill that you learn and that are taught. You touched on it earlier. People that get on stage and speak, people that negotiate big deals. Those are skills that were learned. just like sales. Sales is a skill, and you learn it.
And you teach a great workshop in this. I've been to it. It's about how to develop your own 30-second commercial. And that really, you talk in that workshop about how saying it over and over and over and over again changes from the first time to the 25th time. And those are the kind of things that we sometimes skimp on and we don't allow ourselves to be trained on because we think we should be able to I should be able to come up with 30 seconds about what I do, but really, in essence, I can't. And I need to have someone train me how to deliver something that is heard and that expresses, curiosity.
Something that generates curiosity, right? That somebody says, I hear myself in that. Tell me more, right? Exactly. Instead of asking, how do I get this person to buy? Ask, is there a problem trying to solve? Curiosity removes pressure. And when the pressure disappears, people become much more willing to engage.
One of my favorite things to remind people is, you are not interrupting someone's day. You're offering the possibility of helping them solve a problem. If they don't have the problem, that's okay. Move on. Let it go.
Move on. There are a million other people that you can help.
Curiosity opens doors that persuasion keeps closed.
And if prospecting makes you uncomfortable, here's what I'd start. Stop trying to book meetings. Start trying to start conversations. Ask a thoughtful question. Share an observation. Third-party stories. Lead with curiosity, not a pitch.
I love that because it takes all the pressure off. Your job isn't to close the deal on the first call. It's simply to find out, should we keep talking?
Right. Every meaningful client relationship started with one conversation. Not a perfect pitch. A conversation between two adults. Conversations create opportunities. Pressure creates resistance.
So let's come back to the question we started with. Why do these smart professionals avoid prospecting?
I think the first reason is they haven't been trained. And because of that, they attach too much emotion to the outcome. When you stop trying to win every conversation and start trying to learn something, prospecting becomes a whole lot easier.
And remember, your goal isn't to convince, it's to connect. Those right, easy conversations will naturally lead to the right opportunities.
Right. The best prospectors aren't fearless, they're genuinely curious.
Every client you've ever won started as a conversation you chose to have.
If this episode resonated with you, share it with another business owner, founder, or salesperson who's struggling with prospecting.
And if you're ready to build a healthier pipeline through better conversations, not pressure, we would love to help. Please visit Core Growth Partners Sandler to learn more about our Sandler training programs, workshops, and executive coaching. Until next time, thanks for joining us on the Sales Reality Check, where we challenge sales myths, share practical gems, and help you build predictable revenue through better conversations.
Is your prospecting creating curiosity or resistance?